Welcome to another podcast, broadcast, 1111 synchronized podcast. We're talking about spirituality and healing and whatever we want, authenticity. It's all good. Hope everyone's having a great day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever this is meeting and greeting you. Hope you're in the highest of those high spirits. If your spirits aren't high, go ahead and get them high, and yourself too while you're at it. And if you have any topic requests, please send them to @AgentK21 Podcast on Instagram or on Instagram and Twitter @AgentK21. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Snapchat, email, text, anything. Get at me. Let me know what your topics are. If you want to be a feature, a guest host, hit me up. Let's get into it. All right. Happy Black History Month, everyone. Happy Black History Month, okay? And so today I want to honor two things I want to say. I want to give a shout out to a birthday young man who has turned 18, my cousin. I want to give you a shout out. You know who you are. Omega. You guys might have heard him on the episode we did for the winter solstice. Young man has turned 18 on today, right now. Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday to you. And today, for another shout out in Black history, I'm going to give a shout out to the one and only Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Now, what I want to talk about is, what I want to give a plug for is the top 5 things that most people don't know about Dr. King. All right, so Dr. King was the youngest person to receive the Nobel Prize. At the age of 35, Martin Luther King Jr. became the youngest person to receive the Nobel Prize. Another fun fact, Dr. King did not intend to become a minister. Dr. King attended Morehouse College, another HBCU, to study medicine and law. And it is there that he met someone who inspired him to take a vocational ministry. Next thing, Dr. King drew inspiration from a wealth of leaders and cultures all around the world, from West Africa to India. He definitely didn't just stay in a box. He was out of the box, broke out of the box, got to know different people, was open-minded, got out and about. Dr. King didn't just fight for racial equality. He also spoke to poverty and economic inequality, and he prayed for peace. In 1967, he personally led an effort to equip and empower impoverished Americans so that they could share in the dreams that he had for the country. And the last fun fact, Dr. King forged ahead even when some of his clergy colleagues weren't ready to move forward. So in his famous letter from Birmingham jail, he addressed the religious leaders in Birmingham, Alabama. In his letter, Dr. King responded to the leaders' criticism of his movement. He shared that the biggest roadblock to the progress of his movement was not hate-filled secular groups, but groups of believers who remained silent in the face of injustice. And so, when you got a mission, a purpose, a goal, sometimes the haters will be right in your circle. Sometimes the haters comes from right where you think you'd have the most support. So you gotta stand up on your own 2 feet and keep on trucking, right? Your haters might be in your family, might be your spouse, might be your best friend, might be whoever. But you gotta block all that nonsense out and you gotta keep going. And I chose him to talk about today, even though he's a very well-known person in Black history. I wanted to give him a shout out because today I want to talk about purpose. And we see so many people living their authentic purpose, like Martin Luther King Jr., President Barack Obama, those type of people who have the courage to fulfill their destiny, to fulfill their purpose, And so I went to this group and we were talking about purpose and passion and what's the difference between the two? Can you have more than one purpose? What is your purpose, right? And so personally, I believe, I speak for myself, I suppose, but I believe my purpose is to love and be loved. I feel that is why I'm here, to love and to be loved. And I think we all have unique purposes, but I think the grand design is that oneness that we're all going back to, right? That get rid of the illusions of separation. But that's not everyone's purpose. Some people's purpose is to feel that separation. When I mentioned talking about Adolf Hitler, he had a different purpose. And we need we need that contrast to really find what our purpose is, to really hone in on our skills and to go after it relentlessly, right? So everyone has their own purpose, and my personal purpose is to spread love, to spread unconditional love to myself and to everyone else. And some people's purpose line up with that and some people's don't. And at the end of the day, it's all love, right? It's all love. It's all good. And what is your purpose? Is it what you do? Is it your job? Is that your purpose? Is it your passion? Is it what makes you get up in the morning? Is it your hobbies? What is your purpose? I've heard the saying, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And I feel like, is that your purpose? Is that what you were put here to do? And I feel like a lot of us go about it the whole, let me just take a guess, a wild haystack guess, and find my purpose, or let me take this assessment and see what it tells me about myself. And that's my purpose. Can your purpose and your passion be the same thing? I think absolutely. I think we have multiple purposes. I spoke about Bishop T.D. Jakes on an episode where I talked about him not only being a pastor, but he's a film director. He's an author of many books. He's had many hands in many pots. Not that kind of pot, maybe. But, he's well-versed. And I don't think we're just set here for one purpose. And I think our purposes can evolve as we evolve. The more we learn about ourselves, the more we are able to change, And so we kind of can break out of those boxes that we somehow can stick ourselves into and feel confined to. Like, my purpose is only to be a stay-at-home mom, and that's my identity, that's my label. I'm going to stick to it, even if I'm really passionate about directing movies or going hiking or whatever the case is. It's like we limit ourselves to, I only have one job. You had one job, right? And so it's like, do we give ourselves that freedom to be open to exploring more possibilities of what our purpose could be here? So I just want you guys to breathe it in and let it out and just really sit on that. Like, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? I definitely know that one of my purposes is to help people, is to love people, to help people, to show people the way. And I don't just mean my way, I mean a way of integrating, a way of healing, a way of spirituality, a different way for this entire world. That is my purpose. I didn't come here for a easy or simple life. I came here with a very unconventional purpose and a very dedicated purpose, a devoted singular purpose, and just continuing to mine that purpose more and more. But I also have a purpose of illustrating music to your ears. I'm an artist. At best, I'm an artist. Whether I'm manipulating energy, whether I'm playing a piano, whether I'm trying to be Picasso and not doing that very well. That's the thing, is like, what is your purpose, right? And so as we start to explore our purposes, we get into education or colleges, and we're like, yeah, maybe I want to major in this, and then it changes 3 months later, like, nah, I don't want to major in that, I want to major in this. And you got to give yourself permission to explore. You got to give your permission to be curious, My purpose is to be a healer of the mind, a healer of the body, a healer of the soul. That is a purpose, A purpose is to be a guiding light. A purpose is to use my voice. These are all things that I'm here for. And so it's not necessarily a job, but it is my job that I have chosen to use. And I'm passionate about all of my purposes, and I think that you do find your purpose in your passion. Because again, is it what you do or is it who you are that creates your purpose? And if you don't know what you want your purpose to be, think about who you are and what you want to stand for, what you want your legacy to be, what you want to be remembered for, what you want to leave an impression on this world about. Go back to your childhood. What made you excited? Did you want to be a fireman? Did you want to be a firefighter? Did you want to be, something else that maybe you're not doing right now? What kept you from that? Did you find yourself really doing innovative things and really having fun building stuff, and for some reason took a job at a bank or wanted to play it safe? Got to get out of your comfort zone. Are you playing it safe because this is what you think you should be doing, or because there's comfortability here and it's not gonna really ruffle any feathers, so you kind of want to just stay here and get the paycheck and get whatever other benefits you think you're getting, and not really pursue the thing that really lights a fire in your belly. And so a lot of us settle. I'm guilty of trying to settle, but you can't. Once you are purposed, we're all designed with a purpose. And once you just get tired of playing it safe and following the rules and doing what you think you should do and ought to do, you kind of go, what, this is my life and I'm going to take this by the horns and direct this however I choose to. This is your life. Your gift is free will. You can wield that will in any way you choose. The power is yours, my friends. The power is yours. You can choose your purpose or you can unchoose your purpose at any time. At any time, you can press eject. And I'm not talking about, don't take what I'm saying and twist it to something else. That's not what I'm saying. For those of us who are here listening, I'm grateful that you're here listening, and finding your purpose will keep you around to want to see more and more of what you're doing. So know that you're loved, and know that there's more for you. There's so much more that you might not even realize was available. It might not even be to your conscious awareness. Oh, I can actually do this. Some of us need to see other people do it before we realize, oh, that's possible. So one of my purposes is to be a trailblazer. And one of my purposes is to show people there's another way. We don't know what we don't know, right? And so, we're here to raise the vibe, raise the tribe, meeting so many soul connections. I'm like, yes. That's how you know that you're really in sync with your purpose. You're following your destiny, your plan, your soul's route, right? Your soul knows the map, and you just follow your intuition more and more to find your purpose, your true purpose, not other people's purpose for you. And so many of us have settled. I always just am so grateful for the time and era that I'm born in, because I think about people from, segregation and just all the struggles that so many people have gone through, all the groundwork people have done for us. I'm so grateful, and I don't take their accolades lightly, because they had to forge a path for us to be where we are, and I'm thankful for that. But when I think about the segregation era, and I think about, if I was a black man in love with a white woman, feeling like I couldn't have been with her, that just is like how many people have had that as their story, that they chose not to, out of fear or out of prejudice or out of whatever, to not choose and follow their dreams, And I'll have to give a shout out to the Lovings, because they broke the mold of segregation, a black woman with a white man. And, that's just like, wow, to have the courage to do that in such a time. And it takes courage to follow your dreams and your passions and your purpose. You have to live on purpose to follow your purpose. You have to make a conscious effort to do it every day, because you're going to get loving support, but you're also going to get a little bit of backlash. And anytime you do something different, there's going to be that fear that rises up in people, And you got to just keep it moving. You got to focus on what you're doing and why. If you have a why, you can survive. And so, your purpose is needed, There are so many people who didn't realize their purpose. But I believe if you're listening to this, you do realize you're purposed and you have a purpose. And don't let no one else tell you differently. You have a purpose and you're going to find it, and take your time. There's no rush. Take your time. Mistakes are going to be made. Give yourself that grace to make them and allow yourself to make them. It's not a mistake if you learn from it, right? So focus on what you're learning. Focus on the growth. Focus on getting closer to chipping away to create that sculpture that you really want of yourself and of your life. And so I'm here to change the world, and I believe so many of us are. And so many of us are connecting to each other on a regularly basis, on a daily basis, because of the interweb and because of these interpersonal connections we're making, and because so many of us are choosing to heal. So we're integrating, activating more light codes here to get more people awake, right? And, your purpose is like, it kind of chases you down. Like I mentioned, trying to settle. Wasn't possible for me. Trying to fall back asleep after I've been woken up several times. I've taken the red pill and I try to go back for the blue pill, and my purpose is like, no. And it's like, you keep waking back up. Even if you try to forget, you wake back up. Even if you forget for a split second, you wake back up. Something in you clicks. And it's like, you remember your destiny. You remember, wait, I have a purpose. I have a mission I'm on. And it's something in you that's inborn. And I'm not going to lie and say everyone has that. I think everyone can have that, but they have to choose it. I think it's in us all, but not everyone is going to choose it. So I'm not going to say, everyone has this. Yeah, everyone does to an extent. Everyone has it to the ability that they want to have it. There are going to be plenty of people who are going to be still plugged into the matrix. There are going to be plenty of people who are still going to be asleep because they've chosen to be asleep. And that may be their purpose. And that is not my place, or really anyone's place, to judge other people's path and place in life and purpose, Like I said, my purpose is to love, to heal, to be a guiding light, to heal the world, to show the world differently. And there's no room to love if we're judging. So realize that someone else's purpose, that's where they're at, and that's them living their purpose. So if you see someone settling and you're like, hey, you're not living your true purpose, you're a great artist, why are you at this BS job? And they're like, well, I just need to play it safe. Let them. That is them using their free will to yield it however they choose to. Yeah, you can encourage them and talk to them and understand them, but their path is their path, There's a saying about, you can't, first of all, I think you can't wake up anyone who's asleep. If someone is asleep, they are going to be asleep. People who want to wake up, they got their eyes cracked open. They kind of like halfway there. And people will wake up when they're ready to. So let's keep our judgments at the door of what we think other people's purpose should be. Even the parents, hey, my child is going to be a lawyer because I was a lawyer. Well, wait one damn minute. Hold the fuck up. Hold up. How do you know where your child's purpose is? Just because you think their purpose is X, Y, and Z. Hold up a minute. All right. So anyone who's a parent out there, let your child blossom into who they are. Let them show you who they are, because they already come here with a purpose. Their gifts are innately within them from the time they are born. And cultivating that, you don't need to control it. You just kind of let it flourish, right? And be a guide and not a dictator, right? And so for those of us who have allowed other people to shape our purposes, you get to reinvent yourself every day. No matter what part of the world you're in, you get to reinvent yourself and create yourself. And if it's not safe for you to do so, the one place you can find yourself is in the center. No one can change your thoughts. No one can, you can, but no one can control you or make you not feel unsafe because of what you think. And if you have a purpose, it's going to take some courage to find it. But trust me, your purpose is out there looking for you, and you're looking for it. So rest well, young warriors, and do what you feel resonates with you. You know your situations. I'm not trying to convince you to, quit your job because it's a dead-end job. I'm just saying, don't lose your passion. Don't lose your purpose. You can't lose it. It's in you. So you might have forgotten about it, put it on the shelf. It's time to pick it up, dust it off, maybe. Just reinvent the wheel in yourself while you're at it. So, just be well, and gonna close on that note because we all have a purpose. It's finding it, and you have to lose yourself to find yourself. So if you feel lost right now, you're right on track. Just keep going, one step ahead, one baby step ahead. Don't worry, it'll all work out in the end. And if it doesn't, what is it? In the end, it will all be okay. If it's not okay, it's not the end. So I will see with you guys another time. Continue to listen. Thank you all for being here. Until next time.